Hello everyone, welcome back to another Granny Square tutorial. Today we are going to be working on this rather simple yet elegant granny square. Don't you love it? I love rich colors and this is rich. Anyway, you can use any color you want, but I did use these three colors and it turned out great. I have used this granny square to make a blanket before and I'm going to show you my blanket. Bear with me, I don't have too much room on my table, but I did make this huge blanket using this granny square. As you can see, my dominant color has been this purple. It's a really simple granny square and it builds really fast, so you can make a lot of projects with it, a sweater, a scarf, a blanket. But this is a blanket I made a while ago and I just realized that I had it among my unfinished projects. But I'm missing like 2 on this blanket, so I will get this completed later on and put it online. So visit my shop if you like it and you can purchase it. I'm shipping currently free anywhere in the United States. So let's go ahead and make your own granny square. I'm going to show you how simple this is. It really is as simple as it looks. So let's get together and work on this. I'm going to set this aside. Sorry about that. As always, you're going to need a pair of scissors. I am working with a 5mm hook. That is the recommended hook for the yarn I'm using. I'm using a 4-ply yarn. Any 4-ply yarn will do. You need your darning needle to sew in your loose ends. So we're going to set all of this aside for now. It's noisy, isn't it? I'm using a brown color, a blue color, and a mustard color to give you this beautiful, rich color in a granny square. This is great for making a blanket for the, for a man cave, or even a male sweater, whatever you want to use it for. So I'm going to put this aside and I'm going to drop this down just ever so slightly. And let's go ahead and get started. Grab your hook. We will start by making a chain of 4. So let me pull up my yarn here. It looks like I might have disturbed it a little. All right, we're going to begin with the mustard color, which is our centerpiece. To get started, we're going to chain 4. And then we're going to close this up to make a loop. In your very first stitch, go ahead and slip stitch through that. And then you're going to hold the loose end alongside the loop or the circle, and we're going to work 12 double crochets in this circle. Your chain 3 acts as your first stitch, so let's go ahead and get started, and we're going to work a total of 12 double crochets including your chain 3. I think that's 10, 11, and 12. I think we have 12 there. Let's go ahead and count, make sure we have exactly 12. It's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I think I added an extra one, so we want a total of 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. And then we're going to go ahead and close the loop. And that is your row 1. Once again, we're going to chain 3. And we're going to work 2 double crochets in each of the stitches below to create a total of 24 stitches. So we are working 2 double crochets in each of these stitches. Your chain 3 is your first double crochet. So let's put another one in there. Excuse the noise, my son is home for the summer and two of his friends are home and they are relatively loud, so if you hear the noise in the background, that's Alexander, my little boy. He's all grown up now. So we're almost there. In this last stitch, let's put 2 double crochets. So you should have a total of 12 double crochets. Do not forget to count your stitches. For this particular project, you absolutely want to keep to your stitch count. So let's make sure we have 24. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, and 24. Once again, we're going to slip stitch to close the loop, and that should be the end of your row 2. That's what your work should look like. For row 3, we are going to increase in every other stitch. So let's chain 3. Your chain 3 is your first double crochet. We're going to go into the next stitch. Remember, this is your first stitch where your chain 3 is, so you're not going to be working in that loop. We're going to double crochet into the second loop, and we're putting 2 double crochets in that stitch. So we're putting 2 double crochets here. Your repeat pattern is going to be 1 double crochet in the next stitch, 2 double crochets in the next stitch. We're increasing by 1 double crochet, and then 2 double crochets in the same stitch. So that is your repeat pattern. You should have a total of 36 stitches at the end of this row. So keep increasing, working 1 double crochet in one stitch and 2 double crochets in the next stitch. Keep working 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets in the next. As you can see, we are increasing, and this will be our last row for this particular color. We should have a total of 36 stitches once you're done with this row. Once again, you can choose any colors you like. If you want to use my same exact colors, I have brown, I have navy blue, and I have mustard. You can use a bright yellow as well. I love bright colors, as you already noticed. I use a lot of colors. I find they add a lot of brightness to my day. We are coming to the end of the row. Let's put 2 double crochets in this stitch, and that should complete our row. Slip stitch at the top, and then secure your yarn completely, and we're going to cut this immediately and stitch it in. You always want to complete your rows and sew in your loose end so that when your work is done, you're actually done. One of the things I really dislike is finishing a project and finding I still have all these loose ends to sew in. At the beginning, we did not have much, but still I would like to go ahead and get that loose end right in. So I'm going to put my darning needle through there, and then I'm going to go ahead and thread it because it's a shorter one. It's easier to thread it as you go. One more time, and then we're going to secure that. You never want to make a project and go to wash it and have everything come apart. So you want to secure your loose ends really well. And then we're going to stitch in this next one. And this is the simple part. You don't have to make it complicated. So take that loose end and just go across the top here, in and out, to about 4. Pull that through, not too tight. Make sure that is loose. Then let's come back this way, and this allows it not to come loose when you wash. And then the third time, and we're done. There you are. And then we're going to snip that off. Perfect. So there is your first 3 rows. You have a perfectly good circle. This is 36 stitches around. We are going to change colors now. We're going to bring in our blue, the navy blue, which is this one. So let's go ahead and add a new color. Depending on what you're using, change your color right now. And the easiest way to change your color is to make sure you secure it at the beginning. I know most people make just a loop and want to stitch it in, so I found out it's just easier to go through. So where you completed your work, let's go under that particular loop, pull through, and I want you to go ahead and secure that right away. Okay, make a knot, pull that tight, make another knot. We're going to do this 3 times to secure it, to make sure none of this comes apart. So you're all secure and tight, and let's snip that off so we don't have anything to work with later. And so we're going to go ahead and start our 4th row. We're going to be increasing every 2 stitches. We should have a total of 48 stitches at the end of this row. So let's go ahead and chain 3. That's the first. We're going to work another double crochet. And in the 3rd stitch, we're going to put 2 double crochets. And this is your repeat. 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets. So you're increasing every other 3rd stitch. 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, and in the 3rd we're putting 2 double crochets in there. So work this all the way to the end of your row, and then we will work on the fun part, which is closing it up to create that wonderful square. And if you're using the right hook, your work should lay flat without you having to stretch it around to make sure it's laying flat. When I first started to crochet, I had relatively tight tension, so I found myself using bigger and bigger hooks. But over time, I adjusted that, and I found I can now use any hook to make the correct stitch or project work with the hook that I am using. So if you're still new to all of these, keep practicing, and I would say just use the recommended hook, and if it doesn't work, go a hook higher or a hook lower until you get to a comfort zone. I found that most of the yarns, especially the 4-ply, recommend 5mm hooks, but I work better with 5.5 actually. So that did come apart, didn't it? So we're gonna snip that away. All right, let's complete this row. This is the last row of increases. I think I made a mistake over there, so let's try and make that 2 instead of 1. So 1 and 2, and then we're putting 2 double crochets in this stitch here. And then in the very last stitch, you should be putting 2 double crochets. So you're ending your row with 2 double crochets. Then let's slip stitch at the top here to close that up, pull through, and secure it tight. Make sure it's tight. So that's what your circle should look like. So we're going to go ahead and close it after this. Let's snip that off and let's secure this. We want to make sure we're not coming back to loose ends. go under here and back and back, and this allows it to stay secured and out of the way. Set that aside. So there is where we are right now. We're gonna do the closure, so we're gonna create this square, the brown around it. So let's pull that brown yarn, get a generous amount so that you're not having any issues with it. Sorry about that. I keep having issues with my camera. There we are. I'm not sure what went wrong, but today I've had quite a few issues with my camera. But bear with me, we're almost done. So to close this off, we're gonna go ahead and get our yarn. Once again, we want to secure it, make sure it's tight. Let's go under here, pull through. This allows you to have work that's not gonna unravel when you wash it. And then one more time, secure that. And we're gonna snip that off. Now, to make the corners, we're gonna be having triple crochets in the corners. And then we're gonna work double crochets, we're gonna work half double crochets, we're gonna work single crochets. So this is the fun part of the project actually, so I love this part. So let's go back under, pull through. We're gonna chain 4. This acts as your first triple crochet. Then we're gonna work 2 more triple crochets in this particular stitch. So yarn over, go in there, yarn over, pull through, pull through, pull through, yarn over, go into the same stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. That is a triple crochet. So for every corner we're going to have triple crochet, chain 1, triple crochet. We are starting with a set of triple crochets and we'll end with a set of triple crochets. In the next 2 stitches we're going to work double crochets. And then in the next 2 we're going to work half double crochets, yarn over, pull through all, yarn over, pull through all. That's your half double crochet. And then in the next 3 stitches we're going to put single crochets, 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to repeat it this way. We're going to put 2 half double crochets in the next 2 stitches, and then we're going to put double crochets into the next 2 stitches. And that's what it looks like. So you have a set of triple crochets, 2 stitches of double crochets, 2 stitches of half double crochets, 3 single crochets, 2 half double crochets, and 2 double crochets. And then we're going to make a corner right in that stitch. You're going to yarn over twice, and we're going to make a triple crochet, a set of triple crochets. So we're going to work 3 in there. Chain 1, and then we're going to work another set of triple crochets in the same space right in there. And this is what makes your corner. There we are. So this is your corner right there. That's what it looks like. You got triple crochets, a set of triple crochets, chain 1, and a set of triple crochets right there. And then let's go ahead and walk through here. We're going to have a double crochet in this stitch, a double crochet, half double crochet, half double crochet, 3 single crochets in the next 3 spaces, so 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to work half double crochets in the next 2 stitches, and then double crochets in the next 2 stitches. And now we're going to work another corner, which is a set of triple crochets, chain 1, and then another set of triple crochets. Chain 1, that corner is done. Then we're going to work 2 double crochets in the next 2 stitches, half double crochets in the next 2 stitches, single crochets in the next 3, half double crochet in the next 2, double crochets in the next 2, and we're at another corner. Chain 1, and then we're going to do another repeat, double crochet in the next 2 stitches, half double crochet in the next 2 stitches, single crochet in the next 3 stitches, half double crochet in the next 2 stitches, double crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then a set of triple crochets in the stitch that you began with, and this will close our square. And to close this, we are going to half double crochet at the very top of your chain 3 to close it. Keep it close, and then we can close that up, pull through, and make sure to secure that, and voila, there is your granny square. So let's go ahead and snip this up, and we're going to pull this through here, make sure it's tight, and then we are going to sew in this loose end. Go ahead and thread your darning needle. Now, if you are going to be working a blanket, you don't actually want to close this up. You can leave this up because you will use it to sew these together. And to make your blanket or your scarf or blouse, you can basically stitch this together. And I found it easier to leave a generous amount here to stitch in. So if you were to make a blanket, what you're doing then is just taking these 2 together and just stitching them back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and you don't have to go ahead and stitch these in, but you can close them up later. So, however, to have a clean project, you want to go ahead and just go ahead and stitch these in. Since you have a generous bottom here, just go down a little and make sure to secure it at the bottom here. Then you're going just back and forth to make sure none of this comes loose. Go through and just do this 3 times, and this will secure your work to where it won't unravel when you do your laundry. There we are. Let's snip that off, and you have yourself a different granny square. Pretty simple. And that's that for now. If you do like this tutorial, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, welcome, welcome. Hit that subscribe button so that you do not miss out on any tutorials that I update. And if you are a returning subscriber, I do want to thank you for being my supporter. Continue doing so, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you.